I will give you a covenant for the people, a light for all the nations, to open the eyes that are blind, to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon, from the prison, those who sit in darkness. It is Saturday, the 24th day of December, 2022, Christmas Eve 2022, and we would invite you to take this time and tune in to what the Lord might say to you on this very Christmas Eve, as He desires to bless you so that you can be a blessing to those around you. And today's devotional thought is entitled, The Christmas Servant. And the verses today, Isaiah chapter 42, verses 6 and 7, which reads, I will give you a covenant for the people, a light for all the nations, to open the eyes that are blind, to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon, from the prison, those who sit in darkness. That's Isaiah chapter 42, verses 6 and 7. I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light for the nations, to open the eyes that are blind, to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon, from the prison, those who sit in darkness. Isaiah chapter 42, verses 6 and 7. Alistair Begg writes, At Christmas, many of us feel tremendously cozy as we think about the familiar nativity story. Filled with all kinds of sentimentalities, it is entirely possible for us to completely disengage from the world panorama of God's purpose, to allow familiarity with the scene to blind us to the awe-inspiring truth that as we look at the baby in the Bethlehem manger, we are looking in on the servant of God. The servant, Jesus, had a mission. Even Mary and Joseph had only an inkling about all he would accomplish. Yet hundreds of years before Jesus arrived, God had announced what he would do to fulfill his purpose. Isaiah chapter 42, verses 1 through 4. Jesus came to open the eyes of the spiritually blind. During his earthly ministry, he gave a wonderful illustration of this by granting physical healing to the blind. The greatest issue, however, concerned not the body, but the soul. He came to open the eyes of men and women who were blind to God's truth. The servant also came to free captives from prison. Many of us have felt the captivity of our own guilt, trying countless hoped-for solutions to wash it all away. But nothing works except Jesus. He breaks our chains and sets us free. Once slaves of sin, we have been rescued. Our Savior releases from the dungeon those who sit in darkness, if only they see His light. The story of the servant is a story not about what we must do, but about what Jesus has done. He came down into the dungeon, into our enslavement, into our blindness, and said, You failed and broken the law, and you are entirely unable to rectify your condition. But I save sinners. I open blind eyes. I release captives. I bring light. I have done everything required for you. Turn to me in simple faith and childlike trust, and you will see. You will be free, and your darkness will give way to sunshine. The one who has done all of this is the one you are gazing at as you consider that familiar nativity scene. Never let it fail to move and inspire you to pause and worship and praise for the divine Son who came as our servant. And truly, as we enter into this celebration of Christmas, Christ coming to earth, let's find ourselves praising and worshiping God for His divine Son, our Savior, who came into this world to rescue us, to rescue me, to save me. Personalize it, won't you? And may the Lord bless you and give you a great Christmas celebration. Clive Walsh here, encouraging you to continue reading through the Word. Micah chapter 1, 2, and 3, and Luke's Gospel chapter 21, verses 20 through 38. And may the Lord bless you and give you a great Christmas Eve.